Agwagwag.
There's pretty much only one thing that makes me believe in reincarnation, and it's this Chinese reality show. And I'm convinced that Freud reincarnated as a producer for a reality show, and this was his grand big old idea. He said, remember how I said kids and parents have like very complicated relationships? Are they siblings as well? Are they siblings or are they dating? That is the concept behind this reality show. Listen, I think that there have been many spin-offs across the globe. It must be a thing that I think the human race will one day hopefully ponder upon, will come to a self-realization of like, was this incest? Was this like the fizzling out of incest? Was this stage 4? We don't know. But this is the Chinese reality show that we're talking about today. I saw a few clips on TikTok and I became addicted and I binge watched like 5 different episodes. And Tiffany is like, you need to stop watching these Chinese shows because I don't know what you're doing to your brain, but it's getting rotten.
What is the premise again?
The premise is, you know that Instagram premise where there is an Instagram account called Siblings or Dating. They post a picture of 2 people. And you have to decide if they're siblings or if they're dating.
And then they're just like a little bit too close.
Yeah, or they just like look a little bit, I don't know, you know?
It's like they're sitting on each other's laps.
They're groping each other. And then it's like, oh, they're siblings. And you're like, that's weird. And
then you start questioning, like, do I have the wrong type of like family dynamic?
Exactly.
Or, like, do we not have a healthy relationship, Tiffany? Or like,
yes. Who does not have the healthy relationship? And I don't know what it is about brothers and sisters. It's like the biggest ick in the world. I could see my sister shower. I could probably watch my sister give birth, breastfeed. Like if I walk in on her showering, it's no big deal. If she's out of toilet paper and she's in the shower and I have to go bring a toilet paper, what's the big deal? She's my sister.
Well, yeah, honey.
Yeah.
Of course.
Oh, yeah. I guess that's true. Yeah, okay.
Like,
that's
what?
true. But the way that you and Tiffany act is crazy. Like she knows that you have a romantic relationship with someone, but like the idea that you could flirt is disgusting to her. I see it anytime we're like, I love you. She looks like she wants to throw up. She's like, that's disgusting. Who could love my brother genuinely? That's her face every single time. She'll take a bullet for you, but she's like, I don't understand how anyone consents to loving this man. And I'm like, he's okay. The dynamic is very interesting, okay? But this show is going to make you cringe. Your toes are about to turn into claws. So there are a panel of judges, of hosts commentating on whether or not 2 people are siblings or dating. This is a Chinese reality show. So they're watching this happen in real time. And I just want to know which one is worse. If a judge says you guys are siblings, but you end up dating, but they think you're siblings, is that weird? Or is it weirder if they think you're dating, but you guys are siblings?
Oh,
okay,
no, that's like, bro, that is so much worse.
It's like, can you just imagine the family dinner after the taping of that show?
That's not okay. No.
And so I don't know why the host says this, but the host says, I hope that through our show, love is not limited to love, but also to siblinghood. And that just made me feel weird. That made me feel very strange. Now, the premise is, in the middle of Beijing, there's this standalone house with a giant yard. They put money into this show. And the first guy walks into the mansion. His name is Tang Tang.
So what exactly is going to happen? Like,
okay, so all of these, everyone is in a sibling pair. I think girl and guy sibling pair. So far. This is just episode 1. No spoilers, okay?
So they bringing a bunch of siblings
into one house, and they're not allowed to say who's siblings, and they just all kind of flirt and start going on dates.
Okay, but like clearly siblings are not gonna flirt and go on dates, right?
Yes, but like it's weird because you watch their interactions and you're like, I think they could be siblings, but why are they kind of flirting? So it's very confusing.
Oh,
This
okay.
whole thing is like bringing us back to the days where
Or you're guessing, are they siblings or flirting?
yeah.
Okay.
I don't know why humans keep teeter-tottering on this very dangerous line. You know what I mean? It's kind of a weird thing that we do. But he's walking in, Tong Tong, soup.
Soup.
Soup. Is that not his name?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tong Tong. Yeah.
Soup. He's walking in wearing the Korean
I
oppa
know a
fit.
Tong Tong
You know a Tong Tong?
in my elementary school.
You know a Soup?
His name is Tong Tong, and then he got lost at a field trip.
This
Like
is so crazy.
he gone. He was gone.
You think this is him?
Oh
You think was he tall?
no, he's gone.
What? You're lying.
I'm just kidding.
Okay.
We found him, but like he
Okay.
was gone for half a day. Like we were like Tong Tong, everyone look for Tong Tong, and then we're all like just running around Tong Tong.
That's crazy.
Yeah, like he's forever known as the missing child.
That's so.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can laugh at that.
Yeah, like it was like like news for the school. Like every bus was delayed because Tong Tong was missing.
But do you think this could be Tong Tong?
I don't know.
Okay, well, let me describe Tong Tong. He's
Okay.
walking in, Korean oppa fit.
Oh,
Did
no.
you know?
No,
Oh,
no,
okay,
no,
sorry.
no, not the same Tong Tong.
China opened their doors. They said, hey, Korean citizens, you guys can actually visit us whenever you fucking want. So a bunch of Koreans started going to Shanghai, and all the Chinese people on Xiaohongshu, little red book, I don't know if you guys forgot about that. That was a blip in the radar. They start posting, here's how to know when they're Korean. And it's always the same outfit, all black, long gray or black coat, hair swished to the side, usually an all black fit with sneakers.
Are you open-minded?
Are you open-minded?
Are you open-minded?
I like foreign girls because you're open-minded. That's a Hongdae oppa.
Hongdae oppa.
Yeah, you go to Hongdae, it's like a part of Korea, and it's all about partying, and you're gonna see a lot of wannabe Korean oppas that are like, are you open-minded? AKA, can I hang you from my ceiling and do despicable things to you and then never call you back?
Do you live alone?
Okay, so Tang Tang walks in. He's rolling his suitcase. This suitcase is a pretty good one. I would say the pavement is relatively clear, but still, like he could be doing donuts in a cul-de-sac. So I feel like my calculations are correct. He's got a little bit of money. He's got a little bit of money.
Is
Okay,
he cute? Is he like, so he looks like a Korean oppa,
very tall, very tall.
but he's Chinese, right? Correct?
Yes,
Okay.
but looks foreign.
Looks foreign.
Looks like he could potentially have like Western genes. He doesn't look fully Chinese.
I see.
Yeah, he looks slightly like has a lot of Western features. He's very tall. He looks like Chinese mixed Lee Min-ho during Boys Over Flowers era. He walks up to the house. It's like a really beautiful, not a cabin per se, but something about the color grading. It all looks like a fake world. It's beautiful. There's
So
glass
it's
walls.
not. This is not like Beauty and the Best
See,
type of house.
no, this is not Beauty and the Best type of house.
okay.
It's not Beauty and the Best type of men.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
they're coming in with some strong people.
Oh.
They're coming in with these people are probably famous on Douyin.
Oh, they're bringing in the visuals.
Yeah, they're bringing
Okay.
in the face cards.
Oh, that's good.
Yes. So he walks in, you step into this house. It feels so American, white picket fence on the outside. You step in, futuristic Asian home. It's beautiful. He walks in and he is the first person. He just walks into the living room. It's got this entire shelf of books in the back and a bunch of couches. He takes off his long coat. Boom, another jacket. He's wearing a black leather bomber under his coat.
Oof.
And then under that, boom, another jacket. This guy has battled like 4 fucking sets of zippers first thing in the morning. So I feel like he's tenacious. He's got grit. He's motivated. He sits down on the couch. The judges are already commenting. He's really, his expression hasn't changed at all. When he walked into the house, he didn't look impressed. Like nothing, just nothing.
Stone Cold Killer.
Yeah. Or you have to ponder the alternative.
Which is
Nothing behind the eyes. Because we see him staring at a book. Blink. I'm not getting a signal. I'm not even getting like one Wi-Fi loop. It's like, ooh, where are we? I mean, nothing behind those beautiful double eyelid eyes. Nothing. I can't tell if he's got too many thoughts, so his body is not reflecting it, or if he has zero thoughts and he's just entered a 10th dimension. I don't know. Bro could be solving world hunger in his mind. We don't know. The only signs of a pulse of life is that he will randomly fidget with his finger and then he'll scratch his lip. That's it. It feels like an eternity passes and then the camera pans back outside. Like he has done nothing. And I'm like, we're 30 minutes into the episode.
No.
What
Really?
the fuck is happening? Yeah. And then Tiffany was like, yeah, sometimes they be doing that.
They be doing what?
Just letting you sit in silence. And I'm like, is this the American brain rot in me? Because
yeah.
I'm like, how am I?
You know, like when you watch American dating shows, like everyone's like so outgoing and socializing
Like,
and like jumping on top of each other. And then you watch like Singles Inferno or like these Chinese dating shows. It's like kind of awkward. Like the tension is like thick.
And it's just so silent.
Yeah.
And in an American show, I'm like, this is so weird. Why haven't they professed their undying, unconditional love for one another?
Yeah.
It's been 24 minutes.
Yeah.
It's weird. So then we see this girl, she's walking up, purple suitcase. It's like a 9 out of 10. You can hear the gravel crunch. But she comes in and you just look at her. And the first thing you do is, does she look like Tang Tang? Because I know what this show is about. Her eyes, okay, so he has a very deep, high up double eyelid. I did some stunning. I paused and everything, okay? She's got double eyelids, but they feel a lot lower. Less real estate between the eyeball and the eyelid crease. She walks in, full monochrome look, paired with chunky platform Uggs, a light blue scarf. I mean, this is a girl who knows her color theory, and you cannot convince her otherwise. She is stunning. She looks like the type of girl that, you know, in the main dramas, you've got the poor main character lead that falls in love with the rich main character lead. He's Lee Min-ho. She's the poor girl. Rags to riches. That's the vibe.
Oh, they're like main leads level.
Peak soft girl vibes. Ooh. Like she looks like you go to dinner at her house. Every dish is made by her in a pottery class. She just like goes to flower arrangement classes on the weekends by herself. And then she'll stop by the bookstore and buy a book. And then actually read the book that she bought instead of just putting it on her desk going, that felt good. I'm a very literate person. Okay, she'll actually read her book. Unlike me. Okay, so 10 out of 10, girl. But she struggles to open the front door. And it's kind of cute. She's looking around and she looks like when you're like test driving a car. I hate this. You get into the car, you're trying to test drive it, but the salesman is not in the passenger seat yet and you don't know how to turn on the AC. So you just sit there with that one bead of sweat trickling down until he turns on the AC for you. That's what she looks like. She looks like she's panicking a little bit. And then she's just trying to knock. She's trying to press stuff. And then finally, she's just... Meanwhile, Soup. He's sitting on the couch.
Tang
Tang gets up. Robotic, 90-degree get up. He walks straight to the front door. Nothing on his facial expression. This man is a poker player. Or maybe it's Botox. I really don't know. I think it's a poker player. He opens up the door and he looks down. Okay, this is the part that I overanalyzed. So they say hi very softly, and their first impression of each other, they don't make eye contact. When he holds the door open for her to walk in, they're both avoiding eye contact. So I'm like, could they be siblings? Because, you know, you don't really want to make eye contact with your sibling in close quarters, right?
Like, I know what you look like.
Yeah, and then also you got to play it for the show that you don't know each other, so maybe they can't make eye contact because what if they bust out laughing? And then he helps her.
Bust out laughing?
Yeah.
What? Like, what the f*** are you doing here, Tiffany? Like, I just start laughing.
Yes. And then he's just like, slippers are over there. And then he just walks away. He walks back to the couch while she's putting on the slippers, taking off her coat. I mean, I don't know. I feel like that's a sibling thing to do.
Like, what do you mean? What sibling thing?
Like, slippers are over there. And then you walk away. Doesn't that sound like what you do when Tiffany comes over? You're like, get the slippers over there. And then you just walk away from her.
Yeah. So they're like not very like cordial. It's just very casual. Like,
he's not trying to be too polite. He's not trying to be a gentleman. He just walks off. It's kind of giving little brother, older sister vibes. Oof. Now, finally, she comes into the living room, but she forgets something in her luggage, and she makes this sharp U-turn, and her slipper slips on the carpet, and it falls off. So the next step she makes, it's barefoot. Okay, and she makes this cute little like, ay, noise. And then he smiles. So I'm like, wait, maybe they're not siblings because that's weird. That's weird. So the judges are like, wait, he's smiling though. Like he hasn't made a single face. He hasn't emoted this entire time, but he just smiled. So that must mean that's kind of cute, right?
Are they trying to like guess if they're sibling or dating?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
I see.
So are they siblings or are they dating?
I mean, when you say they're dating, does that also mean they know each other or they
No,
don't?
they don't. They're gonna start dating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are they strangers or are they
Strangers.
siblings?
Strangers. So it's like a bunch of sets of siblings come and they go on dates, but nobody knows who's siblings.
Got it.
And then they're just all siblings that go on the date. They all choose each other. That's sick. That's very sick. But I just feel like you don't smile at your sibling when they do that with their slipper. And it was like a really cute smile. Like when you see someone do something dorky, you're like, oh, that was cute. It was not like a loser kind of smile. Like that's the smile you give your sibling. So she sits down, they introduce themselves. She's like, I'm Susu. I'm not even fucking kidding you. There's going to be a lot of double names in this one.
Her name is Susu?
Yeah.
Huh?
She's like, I'm Susu.
You're Susu.
Exactly. And he's like, I'm Tang Tang. Just call me Tang though. And then she's like, Tang Tang? Okay, sounds good. And I'm like, this interaction is really weird. And they are still not making eye contact because maybe they're siblings. He hands over the little plaque. They're going through the rules. You guys can't ask too many personal questions. That's part of the rules. And then she's like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that. And she starts touching her hair, the top of her head. She keeps like putting that one hair. Do you guys do this? I do this a lot in public and I get so embarrassed, okay? My default mode, I want zero hair touching my face. Sensory, okay? So then I go out in public and I put all my hair behind my ears. And then I recall all my trauma where everyone in my life said, you've got a big ass head. It's like a giant boiled egg. And then I unhook it from my ears and cover my face again. And then I do that rapidly in succession about 20 times every time I'm outside. So she keeps putting her hair behind one ear and then she's like, no, actually that's my good side. And then she pulls it out and then she does the other one and she's like, what the fuck am I doing? I gotta be cute. And then she's touching the front of her, then the back, and then she's putting her hair in the front and then she's moving it back. Life is a struggle. Life is not that great, okay? And then he will randomly smile, a polite smile, and then he looks away. And then there's this moment where it gets very silent and they both glance at each other. And it's just, I just feel like they're siblings.
Really?
Yeah, but
so
then,
there's not like weird tension. It's like sibling just energy. They're just not talking.
Yeah.
But there's no like tensions between them.
No, it gives me like, I feel like you and Tiffany are always either bickering or in this mode of not talking really.
Like ignoring her.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I'm thinking, okay, so some people were like, she's fixing her hair because she's nervous in front of him. And I'm like, maybe she's fixing her hair because she's on TV.
Yeah.
Maybe it has nothing to do with him, right? I don't know. It just feels incredibly awkward. I want to break my legs and crawl away. But then Susu starts smiling and she says, this is awkward. And then he comes out with a very smooth, authoritative voice that made me change my entire decision. He said, what can we talk about?
能聊点什么?
Which it just didn't give me Big Brother vibes. It gave me like, bruh, vibes. She goes, what's your MBTI? And he glances over and this is when I'm like, there's no way they're siblings. Because he says,
take a guess.
I'm like, if you, I'm gonna throw up. Okay, there's no way they're siblings. I changed my mind. Take a guess is flirtatious. That's basically asking, how tall do you think I am? What's the correct answer to that? If someone asks you what their height is, do you A, you be genuine in your guess. You show off your ability to guesstimate the length and spatial occupancy of objects. Or B, do you add 2 inches because you're scared for your physical safety and you need to inflate someone's ego? Or C, do you maliciously subtract 2 inches just because there's too much ego and some needs to be returned to the bank? Like, which one do you do?
What do you do?
I do B.
Oh, you inflate. Oh, yeah, of
I'm
course.
so scared for my life. Okay, so
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
That brings me to, how old are you? Guess. It's like when a girl asks you to guess.
Yeah.
Here we go.
No, but you know what's crazy?
Yeah.
I feel like It's such a Korean ajumma thing because no one in our lives really asks, how do you think I am? Guess. Except like a
older
solid 60-year-old Korean ajumma that my mom hangs out with.
Yeah.
And then everyone at the table goes silent. And then my husband's got to be like, 29? And then they're like, stop it!
No, I don't do 29. I do better. Like I'm
What do you
always
do?
like, you're gonna be realistic, right? Like 29 is like crazy. Like what the heck?
Yeah.
Like, do they look exactly the same age as us? Like, come on.
So what do you do?
I mean, I usually subtract like a good 15 years.
15 is fucking crazy. 15 is
I
crazy.
mean, chances are we already know how old they are, you know?
Yeah.
So.
See, I don't find it fun to ask people to take a guess how old I am unless
Yeah.
they're actual toddlers. Because you ask a toddler, hey, how old do you think I am? And one day Sophie's like, 101. The other day she's like, I think you're 7. And I'm like, I am 7. You're right. So he's like, take a guess. Basically, what color do you think my sheets are? That's very flirtatious. She looks over, both of her hands are in her lap, and now I feel like they're not siblings, okay? See, I think posture is something. Like what subconsciously tells you they're siblings. Because here's my thing. If I'm comfortable with someone, something about it just slowly happens. One knee comes up. I be sitting at a table, my knee is up, and I have to force it back down. Consciously. It just pops up, okay? No knee. She's got her hands in her lap, her posture is straight. You're an I? No. Your knee?
Oh.
He says, well, let me guess about you. You're an INTP? No. How many guesses do I get? 2. He clearly doesn't get it right because that's so random. There's 16 of them, but she's an ISFP, which I'm an ISFP.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Charming, sensitive to others, kind and encouraging, imaginative, passionate. Weaknesses? None. Fucking none. No, I'm just kidding. Difficulty with structure, unpredictable, easily stressed. Difficulty with technical problem solving and fluctuating self-esteem. Pretty much, I'm an anxious, bumbling mess that breaks down because my Google Doc doesn't fucking save. That's like literally what it's fucking telling me. And then I base my self-esteem based off of my fucking Google Doc. But other than that, I think that there are genuinely no weaknesses. I think it's probably the strongest MBTI that exists. So Tang Tang responds that he is an ENTJ. And she looks at him and she's like brushing her bangs.
What the heck is that? Do you know what that is?
Yes, they're commanders. So they're efficient, energetic, self-confident, strong-willed, strategic thinkers, charismatic, but also stubborn, dominant, intolerant, impatient, arrogant, poor handling of emotions, cold, and ruthless.
Okay.
So is that worse, or is it worse that I don't know how to fucking save a Google Doc? Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay. Very intense. Meanwhile, the judges do not believe that these two are siblings because they're like, it just doesn't make sense. Especially him saying that he's an E and he's over here smiling and giggling. And then secondly, sometimes, she said that she's thirsty. She said that she's thirsty. They grab a bottle of sponsored water from the fridge. They got like 5 different drinks sponsoring this episode. So the money is moneying. She sits down, she pours it into a glass, which I'm like, oof, okay. And this is when I knew that they were not siblings. Mm-hmm. It's the sip of water.
Oh, she take the tiniest sip?
Yes. It could be desert, midday, highest UV index, 4 p.m., parched, dry. I could get an IV drip of love at this point. But no, I'm on a date, okay? They offer me water. Something about it. I don't know why. What brainwashed us? Who hurt us?
You can't stomach it.
I can stomach it. I can down 5 bottles of water right now. However, these are the thoughts in my mind, and I'm going to be very vulnerable with you guys right now. The first thought is, I drink too much water. I drink so much more water than him. And my mom said it's not classy to gulp water like I'm parched. Okay?
Really?
Yeah, it's like a thing.
What?
I always get so jealous of like the people who just like take dainty sips of water. And then I'm over here like, glug, glug. Okay. Okay, don't even laugh. The other day, I'm like chugging my water because I'm parched. And then he's like, whoa. whoa, you could down that water. Okay. I like to chug my water. But then, even though it's the desert, I will just wet my lips. I'll just wet my lips. I'll take the world's tiniest sip.
You just like backwash.
Yes, basically. And that is, to me, the biggest indicator that they are not siblings. And in the confessional, Tang Tang is asked, what is your first impression of Susu? And he says, I think she's very naive and cute. So I'm like, oh, I don't think that they're siblings. But now to stir things up, the producer sent in the next girl. She's wearing an all black outfit, long gray coat, a white scarf, a black beret. Suitcase is 5 out of 10. She's very pretty, but less soft girl vibes. Like, I want to call her 언니. Not because she looks older. They look similar in age, but she just has an 언니 aura. Like, she will take care of you.
Older sister.
Yes. Like, very 당당해, very assertive. Even knocking on the door, I mean, you would think that she pays the mortgage for this house for the past 5 years. Both Susu and Tang Tang, like, when they're opening the door, it's like, oh, should I open it? Should I knock? Right? She walks up. Open the door. Like, that's the vibe.
NYPD, open up.
Yes, that's the vibe. So they both come and open the door. She says, thank you. She grabs a pair of slippers from like the bookcase that's, I don't know, maybe chest height. Okay, she grabs a pair of slippers and then just drops them down. She doesn't bend over. She just drops them down.
Oh, that's crazy.
Slaps her feet in. And I'm like, okay, I like her. I like her a lot. And he takes her suitcase, which he did not do with Susu. So it's kind of giving, hey, my little brother is my little bitch.
Oh.
So I'm like, wait, now are they siblings? Are they siblings? So he starts rolling the suitcase into the house. They're already comfortable with each other as the vibe. Meanwhile, Susu looks incredibly awkward and she doesn't know what to do with her limbs. He offers some water to the new girl and she just says, I'll do it myself. He walks back to the living room to join Susu. And look, I know I've changed my mind approximately like 41 times during this episode, but I really think that him and the new girl are siblings. It's like the face that he's giving when he's walking back to the living room is like, I'm getting it myself. Like, it feels like he wants to do that. Because she said, I'll just get it myself. And then the look on his face is like, I'm getting it myself. Like, I feel like he wants to say that. Do you know what I mean? So I'm like, I feel like they're siblings. They're kind of cold to each other. So they sit down. New girl introduces herself to Susu first. Asks Tang Tang for his name. He says, Tang Tang. She says, oh, which soup? And they both laugh. But it's like not the same shy, like, I'm so nervous kind of laugh. It's like, haha, loser. That's the laugh. Yeah, and it's like if you don't shut the fuck up and sit down, ma, like that's the laugh, okay? So the judges think that maybe she's the older sister, he's the younger brother. That's the vibe. We still don't know her name yet, but she says she's an ENFP, which is a campaigner, curious, easygoing, enthusiastic, good-natured, positive, excellent communicators, but also very disorganized, overly optimistic, unfocused, and people pleasers. So that's great. MBTIs are incredibly valuable because like, they don't really talk during the show. Like, they just be sending frequency waves through the air to each other.
So you're just like coming up your own story about
Bro,
that.
I just know the audio editors were struggling to find soundtracks.
That's why you're saying they kept the whole silence part.
Yes.
Because there's nothing else coming.
Yes. Okay. So she also states that if you're an I, you're just toys for ease. She
Who
says
said this?
the new girl. She says if you're an I, you exist to be played with by ease.
If you're introvert, your only reason of existence is to be used as a toys for extroverts.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
I feel so targeted.
Like, wow.
So we don't know her name yet. And the next man walks in. Hometown Harry. That's his name. He's very different from Tang Tang. He's wearing a short puffer jacket. He's carrying a duffel bag. He doesn't even have a rolling suitcase.
When you say hometown Harry, what does that even mean?
Let me explain Hometown Harry. But you just got to get the vibe first, okay, so that it makes sense. So he walks in, no suitcase, duffel bag. This is the type of man that fucking moisturizes his face with beef tallow. I don't know. I feel like his idea of skincare is deodorant. He's like, oh yeah, this is my self-care routine. Deodorant.
Like he's like looks like rough, like a little.
He doesn't look rough. It's just a different vibe. Like Tang Tang, I know he's whipping out a skincare bag. I know he's setting out his little bottles at night. And then he's like, wait, which one is the first one again? And then he just like has a little thing.
Yeah.
Hometown Harry?
Is he hairy?
No.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
So the other two girls, you know, they had to knock for Tang Tang to open the door, but he tries to wedge his fingers into the door and like pry the door open. The handle's not working. He's basically attempting to trespass on camera. And then he just randomly gives up, plops down on the front steps of the house. And he just looks somber. He looks like he's just been kicked out of the house with nothing but his black duffel bag, and he's pondering where to go next. And the judges are so confused, and they're laughing at him because it's like he didn't even knock.
Oh.
He just like tried to open the door didn't open, and now he's just like, what is happening? And then out of nowhere, he gets up and just starts. Okay, so it's very confusing. And now everybody brings him in. You know, you get the slippers. And I'm going to explain. Let me paint the picture. When he walks in, the first thing everyone guesses about him is he's from northeastern China. And I looked at Tiffany and I said, what the hell does that mean? Okay. So first of all, northeastern Chinese people have a very distinct accent. It's like southern people have an accent, right? So they have an accent. And on top of that, northeastern men typically in the dating world are known to be very gentlemanly. So they say in different parts of China, because China's so vast and like there's so many different like subcultures within the whole country, they say certain areas like you're gonna have like stronger assertive women, or certain areas like, you know, mom's in charge, or certain areas like dad's in charge and there's no way around it. Like obviously there's exceptions and personalities, but a lot of them have like this vibe that everyone is like supposed to fit into. It's like the order of society. Northeastern men are known to be very gentlemanly. They're known for treating women very well. Like they're the type to make sure their wives get their calf massages every night. They're very efficient. They know how to build a bookshelf. That's the vibe. He sits down next to Tang Tang, northern man. And the picture that these two give me, okay? Hometown Harry is the childhood best friend. You work at the grocery store. You've been working there since high school. He works at the grocery store with you. And every time you clock into your shift, you're supposed to put the giant boxes of water on the shelves and they're already done. And you're like, what? Who keeps doing my waters? Hometown Harry is doing it because he loves you, but he won't tell you. He just comes in early, he sweats, he stocks the shelves with water, and then one day, a rich guy from the city walks in trench coat, kind of snobby, kind of fucking annoying, and then he starts flirting with you inside of this grocery store, and then you guys kind of hit it off, and then you guys keep going on these dates, and then in the back shelves one day, Hometown Harry just explodes, and he's like, what do you even see in him anyway? And then you're like, whoa, you're my best friend.
What the heck?
What do you mean, what the heck? What do you mean, what the heck? What do you mean?
What are you reading? Like, come on.
It's so crazy because we do this thing. Sometimes I'll be reading in bed and then he's like, what are you reading? I'm going to read the Chinese version. So like if I'm reading sci-fi, sometimes I'll read like the Chinese version of that book. If it's like nonfiction, sometimes he's reading the Chinese version. And then sometimes I just be reading some dark mafia smut. Like that thing is filthy. That thing is dirty. Like the second my nieces learn how to read, I got to lock those up in a safe or something. Okay, those are illegal. I'm just like, oh, it's like a small published book. You're not going to find it. That's what I'm reading. It's the grocery store. It's Hometown Harry. That's the vibe. His MBTI is INFJ, which everyone is confused that he's an I because he's been yapping since he got here. And he explains, it's because I'm an introvert and I feel so awkward that I keep talking, you know? Like, do you get that? Now, side note, the guy's name is Harry. Now, the whole time people are debating, is it better to be an I? Is it better to be an E? And then briefly, Hometown Harry just like shuts down. He just closes his eyes. He said that was way too much E activities. I gotta recharge real quick. Hold on. So he shuts down his eyes and then he opens them. And then he's like, I gotta stretch my legs. So then he starts just exploring the house and he comes back with a tennis ball. And then he asks Tang Tang, do you play basketball? No. What a pity. With your height, it's a waste not to play basketball. And so the girls are like, yeah, Tang Tang, how tall are you? Tang Tang says, I'm shorter than 6'2". To which Harry's a short king. Hometown Harry's a short boy. He said, what a coincidence. I am also shorter than 6'2". Okay? the humor is better because it's more compact, you know? And then Harry just
That's fucking crazy.
and then he just starts yapping about height, about food, about how hungry he is, how he hasn't eaten in 6 hours. Just very yapping, and it seems very cute because he seems very nervous. And so far, the judges think that Tang Tang and the second girl, who they say her name is Hua Hua, so we're gonna call her Onni H. They think they're siblings. You know, the one that was like, I'll do it myself. That's the vibe. And they think Tang Tang is interested in Susu, the first girl that arrived, the soft girl. And Hometown Harry, we don't know who Hometown Harry's sibling is, but he does give only child energy. That's what the judges say. Regardless, the next man walks in, and he doesn't walk in. He doesn't even roll in. Well, he does. He drives in a Bentley.
You're fucking kidding me.
It's a bee with wings. I think it's a Bentley.
He pull up in the car, you're
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
Yeah, like bee with wings. Yeah.
It's a Bentley. He's walking in a fucking Bentley. That's what it looks like. Okay, we get the car shot of
Do
him.
everyone see him in the Bentley?
No.
Oh.
He opens the trunk. It's probably like the thing you wave your foot under and the trunk opens automatically. And then he pulls out his Rimowa.
Oh.
Just like Tokyo Drift. All the way.
What's his what is he wearing? What's his visual? What's his hair? What's
Okay, can I be really honest?
Be fucking brutally honest. I need to see it.
Okay.
Is he like a giving rich second generation like spoiled child? Hongdae
Okay.
oppa, like what is it?
Basically, his parents make good money. They own liquor shops.
Oh.
And he spends a lot of time at the karaoke.
Oh my goodness.
But he's rich.
Oh
But
my
it's
God.
not giving
not giving-
international student rich. It's giving like
A little cheap. Yeah, we call it like 暴发户. Like clearly you made some money and you want to show it.
yeah.
You're not like very settled.
No.
Not even old money. Not old money. Not like with
Yeah.
some taste and some personality.
If old money whispers, new money talks, this man is screaming from the hilltops. I'm rich.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's got a nice flashy watch. I don't know what watch it is, but here's the thing with watches. This is my only thing. This is my only tidbit I can give out. If you ever see a guy and it looks like he's wearing a fucking baseball on his wrist, run. Run the other way.
I mean, it could be a Richard Mille or it could be like
But
a
when it's
China.
a baseball
Like-
on the wrist, like
Yeah.
so big, so overpowering, yes, it could be a Richard Mille, but the amount of emotional damage that man will probably do to you,
That's true.
still run the other way.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it's an expensive watch or not an expensive watch. Run! We gotta run! I'll run with you! That's the only thing I've learned in life. He's got a leather jacket, white shirt. I'm pretty sure he's got a chain on. He probably spends a lot of time at nighttime establishments. And I think there's nothing wrong with that. It's just a different lifestyle. So they all sit down on the couches and Onni H asks him what they should call him. And I actually like him. The new guy says, Fatty.
Fatty?
Yeah. To which everybody seems shocked. And they're like, did we just hear that right? But Onni H is like, Fatty? Fatty? You want me to call you Fatty? And then he says yes. And she's like, okay, Fatty. Yeah. And then she's like, how'd you get that name? And he says, maybe I'm fat. And she responds, no. And their energies, I don't know. The judges are really confused. Now it's like, is Onni H and Fatty siblings, or are they flirting? Because they
Yeah.
both have very direct personalities.
Yeah.
It seems like both of them don't take anything too seriously. They seem like
cute.
a fun time. So I like all of them, right? It's not Beauty and the Best. You're not going to hate anybody. I think.
okay.
At least not in this episode.
Okay.
Okay, so they briefly call him Fatty. They get to know each other. And then Susu brings up the fact that she first asked Tang Tang about where he's from, and then he couldn't answer. And then it's just like a lot is going on. There's a lot.
So now we have 6 people.
Yes.
Okay. And we still have no idea exactly who's
Yes.
sibling yet. Likely there are siblings in this room.
Yes.
Okay.
So then the next girl walks in. And remember how I was really confused about, okay, I thought Tang Tang was siblings with Susu because they had this energy that was slightly awkward. Then I was like, no, Tang Tang is definitely siblings with Onni H because the I'm doing my thumb, you know, that whole thing.
Yep.
Yeah. So all those rumors put to rest, bury them in a grave. The woman that walks in looks like Tang Tang with hair, like long hair. I don't know how else. I've never paused a screen and went, what the fuck? She looks like his twin. Stunning. Both of them are stunning, but identical twins. Identical twins. You're gonna fucking die. You're gonna die when you see the picture. She comes in, brown coat, red headband. I don't even need to see anybody else's reactions. The door opens. They all sit back down on the living room couch. And guess what? Everyone's thinking what I'm thinking because you know what they're fucking doing? You know what? Every single person in the room cannot argue. You know, if they had debates about how strong DNA is, out the window. All they're doing right now is it's a tennis match. Left, right, left, right. All they want to know, the only question on their minds is, who's older? They're not even. It's crazy.
They could be twins or
They could be twins.
They don't know.
Yeah.
Right? But they do look like
identical.
Okay. Oh, shit.
Identical. You know how some people are like, yeah, maybe you and Tiffany look alike, right? No, this is like identical.
Wait,
identical.
So are they twins?
We don't know.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So, because we got to go through the whole games of like, oh, who's siblings with who?
Yeah.
Her name is Xiaoling. And people are just like, come on now. In Susu's confessional, she just says, it's very obvious. They look identical. Yeah, identical. But when Tang Tang gives her water, they're both very cordial. But again, it's pretty obvious. So I thought that was going to be it. But the camera guy pans to a new guy that's entering the villa. And he looks like just like a young college student.
Oh, I thought you was like, he looks like Susu without hair.
Wait. Some people think he looks exactly like Susu without hair. Okay. He's wearing a hoodie. He's got a jean jacket on top. He's got AirPods around his neck. He looks college. The first thing everyone notices is he looks like a young idol from TF Boys. He plops down on the sofa. He puts the blanket over him. The way he plops down and just his feet be dangling off the sofa. I'm like, that's a little brother for sure. That's not an older brother. That's a little brother. He might have 3 older sisters at home.
Okay.
The way his feet are dangling and swinging, I'm like, you were taken care of. Someone took real good care of you. Okay. The judge says, I think that's Susu's brother. I think so. He introduces himself as Tutu.
Tutu? What?
I'm not even kidding.
What does
he
that mean?
says, just call me Tutu because I have big ears. And he's outgoing. And there's this little TV show for kids of a boy with big ears named Tutu.
Tutu?
Do you know Tutu?
I think so. It's like a children's cartoon or something.
And then another girl enters the villa. She walks in Victoria's Secret style, red suitcase, thigh-high socks, heels, leather jacket. She looks like a Barbie doll. Stunning. I don't know why, but it's giving fatty sister. That's the vibe.
Oh, like that rich money talks.
Yeah. But cooler.
A little bit classier, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And the judges say she gives strong older sister vibes. She immediately walks up and without hesitation, she's knocking on the door. Instantly, when the door opens, she asks for help with her suitcase. Oof, I love that. I learned something from that. I don't know what it is. Like all the other girls were like, and then the guys would help them. She's just like, can someone help me with my suitcase? And I'm like, I gotta learn to do that.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's
and I was
good.
like, that's so good.
That's like that seems like, right? Well, why is that good, right? That makes it feel like
it's just
confident.
More
Yeah, it seems more confident to ask for help.
Yes.
That's so interesting. Yeah.
But then I'm always like, I don't want to be a burden. I'll just do it myself and break my ankle, which I did. Not from a suitcase, from actual like real life stuff, guys. I almost broke my ankle from exercising in a not real sport. I was trying to learn pickleball. And whoever says it's not a real sport, I think that they should probably reflect on their superiority complex because I almost died. So that's really painful to hear. And she walks in, she joins the others. The energy has shifted. She's wearing a tweed dress, Chanel girly vibes, Songjia vibes, Singles Inferno vibes. Walks in, every guy is like, whoa.
Whoa.
Her name is Xing Xing. Except, okay, so I'm going to call her Chanel Xing so that everything gets a little bit easier. Everyone's asking for her. She's very intimidating. Every single person that gives them her name, like their name, she's making full eye contact. I feel intimidated in the best way possible. I'm like, I want to be you. She says, oh yeah, for sure, Tang Tang and Xiaoling are siblings. They're both very attractive, but so similar that they stand out. She thinks Tutu and Susu are siblings as well. And then the first siblinghood is revealed. We got a guy who sits down in the confessional. I just can't help but laugh when I see her. I try so hard not to call her by her nickname or mention that she's my older sister. But yes, Xiaoling is my older sister. So Tang Tang and Xiaoling are siblings. I don't know what the fuck the producers were thinking because that wasn't even a reveal.
Yeah, everyone act surprised.
Yeah, come on, woo! And now the judges are like, okay, we don't care. Next. We knew that already. They're like, Susu, put your hair behind your ears again because Tutu does have some big ears. So if Susu got them ears on her, it's a supersonic hearing family. I'm just kidding. I really want my ears to stick out.
Yeah.
It's a thing. People in Asia get surgery to make their ears stick out because it's cuter.
Yeah. Supposed to make your face look smaller.
Yeah, and I tried to...
Which I don't know. I don't know if that's true.
Okay, look.
I don't know. It looks a little bit weird.
That's
like a little bit like...
so rude. What does it look like?
Like, like Lord of the Rings or something.
Okay. So one judge says they can rule out Tutu and Onni H because they're both bonding over the fact that they're ENFP. They're like, oh my God, you're ENFP? I'm ENFP. Do you want some chips, my ENFP friend? They're like, siblings can't do that unless you're just really good at acting. But others think maybe they're really good at acting. A lot of judges think that Chanel Xing and Fatty are siblings because they both kind of have that money aura about them. But other judges believe Fatty and Onni H are siblings. One judge is super observant and he noticed that they knocked on the door the same way. So a lot of people knocked on the door when they first entered with a fist. Closed fist. They both knock open palm.
That's weird. Okay.
So they're like, that's too similar. You know what's interesting? Also, have you seen that TikTok that's like, why do we lift our arm to knock? Why can't we knock where our arm naturally falls? Why must we knock, lift our arm?
Yeah, we're programmed.
Yeah, stop the propaganda. Stop the knocking propaganda, people.
Why do we have to knock?
What do we do?
We could kick.
Okay, that's
You know what I mean?
So they bang on the door. So they're like, maybe they're siblings. Also, people are speculating that Hometown Harry and Chanel Xing, their eye distance are closer on their face. So maybe they're siblings. Now, back in the villa, all of them are going upstairs and they're getting sorted into their different rooms. And this mansion is massive. It feels like, have you ever watched that, not Chinese show, the children's show where it's a box? The intro starts outside of a cardboard box and the hosts walk into the cardboard box and it's an estate. It's a manor. That's what this feels like. How does this all fit inside of this building? I don't know. But they're going to be here for the next 20 days. Tang Tang starts playing the piano downstairs. Everybody starts gathering. And this is when you kind of figure out, does anybody like Tang Tang? Does someone want to date Tang Tang? Because we know his sister is Xiaoling. Some of the girls are interested. Chanel Xing says, I think he's glowing when he plays. Onni H says, oh, he's really good at the piano. But I think the one that is the most smitten by his piano skills is, they say, I like when he plays. He's really cool. I like Tang Tang.
Susu?
No, Fatty. So the judges are...
What?
Yeah, he's
But also, how is his piano skill? Is he playing the piano starter pack?
Starter pack for Elise. Oh, yeah.
So he's not doing anything special.
No.
Okay.
No, it's giving I'm putting my lessons to use on this one. I've been waiting for this day. That's what it's giving. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And Xiaoling is looking at him like, oh, little brother. They look like they have a very healthy relationship. So then after this, they get a notification that they are going to now go and pick their dates. Their dates are going to start a little bit later, but they're going to submit a request for their dates. So the card reads, members of the cabin, you're about to welcome Cupid's date. Girls, please think carefully about the person you want to date and give the card to their sibling. The sibling of the person you want to date. But you don't know and you cannot ask. So you have to guess who the sibling is of the person you want to date.
What a complicated system.
Yeah, because hometown Harry is sitting there. I don't get it. I don't get it.
Oh.
Tong Tong looks to him and he looks at him like, small brain, hometown Harry. Let me explain to you. If A likes B, she has to choose C. Harry looks at him like all the brain cells have vanished out of his left ear. Just zoop out. Like that is a horrendous way of explaining it. It's so much more confusing than before.
Yeah.
But Tong continues. A and C are girls. B is a boy. If A likes B, A should give the letter to C. Harry looks at him and then just smiles. Tong's looking at him like, are you dumb? I'm looking at Tong like, why are we doing quantum physics? Chanel Xing doesn't get it either. So Tong's older sister is like, oh, let me deal with my brother because he's crazy. She says, for example, if I want to go on a date with Harry, I will guess who Harry's sibling is and give that card to Harry's sibling. Harry looks even more confused. Wait, why are you guys pointing at me right now?
Yo. Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Like,
Okay.
did Harry's appeal just went down from that?
Yeah, but also Tong's did too.
Okay.
It was like two guys trying to solve a problem, and then one of the girls had to step in and be like,
I feel very merciful right now. I feel sympathy right now, so I will help.
Meanwhile, Tong tells the confessional that he believes his sister will like Tutu, big ear Tutu, because she likes clean, soft boys. Meanwhile, Tutu is in the confessional talking about his sister, whom we don't know who it is yet, but he says, I think my sister is going to invite Tong. That's what my feelings are. Fatty says, I think my sister is interested in Harry. Like, I don't know if I'm right, but maybe she might be interested in Tutu. So it seems like Tong is the most famous one, and all of them give their cards, but we have no idea who they've given it to and if they've chosen the right sibling. We don't even know what happens if you give it to someone who's not actually the sibling of the person you want to go on a date with. Like, do you just show up and it's not the person you wanted to go on a date with because they send the real sibling? I don't know, right? Maybe that's why they don't show them giving it to all the siblings. They're going to make dinner now. So Tong walks in, and I swear these Asian reality shows like Singles Inferno, I'm pretty sure 90% of them was them cooking for like 2 seasons straight. I'm like, these Asian reality shows are just making dinner and doing dishes. Yeah. That's it, okay? So Tong walks in. He wants to help cook. He's got his jacket collar popped. I'm like, you don't want to cook. Roll up them sleeves. You don't want to cook. You don't come cooking like that. Harry, hometown Harry, is cooking. And then Tong just watches. And then he goes back to the living room. You know, because I think knowledge is something that needs to be consumed in bite-sized pieces. He can learn to cook another day. He just sits back down on the living room couch.
Zero thoughts.
Silence. Later, he pulls a book off the shelf. He starts flipping through it. It looks like he's about to fall asleep. Meanwhile, Chanel Xing joins to help cook dinner. Harry is helping her, and the energy is kind of flirty. If they're siblings, I'm going to break my computer and call the police. I'm calling 23andMe and some genealogists because they can't. That's crazy.
They're hitting it off. They like each other.
Yeah, and the judges are like, they seem really close. Half the judges are split. Some of them are like, this is so flirtatious. The other half are like, no, it's like watching a vlog of 2 siblings in the kitchen. They look comfortable. They look like they're helping their parents, you know? They don't break eye contact. You know, he's teaching her about different types of fish. So again, I think I need to be in jail if they're siblings. I'm like, if they're siblings, something weird's going on. Later in the confessional, Chanel is like, Harry's very funny. He said my fish was very ugly. The fish that she picked for dinner, you're disgusting, okay? She says, the way he taught me to cook the fish just was very abstract. I'm like, what does that mean? What does that mean? Meanwhile, Fatty is like, how much rice should I cook? So he walks over to Onni H. She's also very strong. She's preparing the rice pot. And there's this brief awkward tension. He says, should we wash the rice first? I don't know if it's her personality. I don't know if they're siblings. She goes, yes, of course we need to wash the rice first.
Oh, they're giving siblings.
Yeah, and he says, you're so strict. It feels like older sister because when he walks over with the rice bag, he just holds it open and she immediately starts scooping. It's giving older sister.
Yeah.
And then at the end, all he's doing is like, hee hee, it's only been one day and we're already finishing a third of the rice bag. And then she's like looking at him like, do you have any productive thoughts? Like that looks like something a sibling would say. Like an older sibling would be like, do you ever like use a brain cell or two? Or are they there for decoration? Do you? I don't know. I feel like my sister says that to me, okay? But right before dinner, the doorbell rings. They rush to the door. It's a food delivery. Vegetables, rice. The note reads, our parents prepared this meal from our hometown. Let's have our first dinner. So all the food is displayed. Every sibling's parents created a meal from their hometown. Now, this is the tricky part. They have to eat the meal and act like it's not their food.
Oh,
Because China's very diverse, you know?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of different types of food.
Oh my gosh.
But at one point, someone does kind of give it up because Tutu is opening a container and Fatty walks over because Tutu's trying to put it in a pot to heat it up. And then he's like, oh, that's not stew. That's a dish. So it's like,
You know what that is.
Yeah, so then everyone is like, okay, if a girl is talking about that food, they're probably siblings. So they have to be very careful.
Wow, that is clever.
Yeah, they have to be very careful. And there's no labels on it. So they'll sit around and be like, wait, what kind of meat is this? And everyone is like,
Yeah, nobody should know anything about these dishes.
yeah. So they're all trying to be like, I think it's this. I think it's beef.
I think it's a lamb.
Yeah, I think I've had this before when I was traveling. It's that. Now, meanwhile, Harry is watching Onni H cut the vegetables. He's telling her to be careful. Don't cut her hands, your nails. Be slow. Meanwhile, Fatty and Tang Tang continue to peel garlic. Susu walks over and she's like, let me do it. Come on, brother. And everyone got really confused by that. It was just like a really confusing moment. I will say, by far, the most useless member so far is Tang Tang. He's just standing there in his leather jacket. And at the end, they move all the plates to the table. And Hua Hua, Onni H, and Harry are the best at cooking. So they all sit down, and this is their very first meal together. And now, that's it. That's where they leave you it was like an hour and a half long. And the next episode, we're going to find out if they pick the partner that they're going on the dates with. But this is just the first introduction to the 20-day.
You're going to leave it here?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. That was crazy.
Because the next is just the dates. But then if I go to the dates, then it's a lot. And
Yeah.
what are your thoughts? Do you guys want to know who goes on a date with people?
Hell yeah.
You do?
This is good.
Do you like the show?
I love it so far.
Really?
Yeah, I need to see their face.
Oh, I gotta show you Tang Tang in.
And then I gotta...
You're gonna die.
Oh yeah, I'm invested.
Okay, let me know in the comments who you guys think are siblings. And if you guys want a part 2 to this, let me know. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.